I don't gotta hurt you, God will. You and your feeling for no reason, bro. You built your own hatred off looking at me. What's wrong with you? You can't stop what God built, bro.
What's good, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tamaria and I go by Tamaria Lakeo on all my socials, so feel free to follow me on your favorite one. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and make sure that you're notified so that you don't miss an upload. This is one of the biggest gifts that my mom has ever bought me. I mean, material wise, right? Of course, there's a lot of, gifts that are invaluable, right? You can't put a price on it. So on my class ring, there's my birthstone, and then it says the high school that I went to and the class that I graduated, 2000. It says 2005, right? And then there's a little symbol of a Bible and a leaf, right? It says Holy Bible on the ring, Holy Bible, a little shield under there, and then on the other side is, let me just show y'all. So that's one side, right? Then you got the Bible, right? It's like, mama left me. When she left me, she said I had a fucking mission to do, right? Before she left, she told me I had a mission. She said, it's important. You gotta do this mission. I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? I've said this once before in some of my old videos too. So if you lost, do some research. Now, when I tell you God's grace and mercy has been on my life for a long time, I can remember back to way the fuck back when I started knowing that there was, there was this physical reality, and then there was something very strange going on when I was a child, right? As a child. So it's just like, as I've been on my journey, journeying through life, I just feel like I've had a moment to where I remember praying and asking for purpose, right? God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Because I want to finish doing what I need to do so I can get the fuck on out of here. You feel me? Like, I want to finish, God. So, I can go up there and be chilling with you because I've been reading about you ever since I was a little kid, and you seem like the coolest nigga in the world, right? So I'm trying to finish what I need to do here so I can go and be with you, right? So listen, the way that I've been reading some of my journal passages to y'all in some of my previous videos is just like something that I've been doing for a long time. Like, scripting and journaling has been something that I've done for a while. And I can remember vividly and explicitly that before meeting my last significant other, I was writing in my journal, right? So, how I told you guys about the dream lover? I'm gonna put that little thumbnail on there so y'all can go check the video out. But like, I thought I manifested this soulmate, but I happened to have found them on Tinder. Like, let me not even get, y'all just gotta go watch because listen, it's too much. Anyways, so I remember writing specifically about wanting to attract another certain type of person in my life when I was like in my early 20s, right? I'm like, God, what is my plan? I used to be heavy in the church, but I haven't been in church yet, but the church is still in me. So listen, I was writing about this man that I wanted as a young girl, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. So one of the reasons why I wanted the man, I was trying to manifest the man through God and through, like writing about my desire and what it was that I wanted, is because, when I would read the Bible, I would read a lot about sexual immorality, right? And so I was like, oh, but I had that baby when I was, I got pregnant when I was 13. I had a baby when I was 14. And if I'm sitting here and if I'm being honest with you, one of the strongest drugs that I've ever had was some good. I'm gonna be honest. I'm keeping it a buck. That's one of the strongest strongholds in my life. It's some good. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll get into other ones later, but that's one of the strongest ones. So I'm like, I need, a husband, right? I need a husband that, God would approve of. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only God, it would glorify, right, God's name, to have this person in my life and us be together and create this beautiful story. And I remember writing specifically, like I said, I was in the church, so I kind of remember like looking for women who could be role models, right? because I had some women in my life, and while they were characters and I learned and, you know, took some of them with me on my journey, I always felt like as a woman, there was just like, you know what I'm saying, they could give me some insight, you know what I'm saying, but there was just like something else I was looking for. So I would go to church, and then there would be like the first lady sits in the front of the motherfucking church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I was just like loving first lady energy type shit. So I was like, okay, God. So, I don't know. I had put in my mind that you know, the person I was going to meet was going to be like a pastor. And then I was going to be like first lady. And then we was just going to have this church. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, this is me, like early 20s. Like, this is what I'm thinking. So I'm going through life. After writing this, praying about it, sitting with it, you know, I'm going through life, right? And here comes life. You know, I'm going through life. Sometimes I'm walking with God. Sometimes I'm walking by myself. Sometimes I'm in the dark. Sometimes, you know, I'm just out here walking, right? And I'm going through life, and I'm experiencing all these things, right? So before I get to this person who I believed in my mind was who I wrote about, like, I also have to take accountability for, you know, being so down and so low in that season that I had fucked around and said some goofy ass shit to my brother and my girlfriend at the time. And I was like, I wonder, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do people go? Be careful what you say. There is power in the tongue, baby. Be careful what you say. Because I remember I was sitting down talking to my brother and my girlfriend, and we was out there trying to you know, get through life, baby, basically. And it was one of them moments where we was just lacking, you know, collectively, all three of us. God damn, all three of us can't pull together and bring something forth that's worth having, all three of us. So me always wanting to carry the motherfucking weight, me always wanting to motherfucking carry the weight for myself, for my brother, for my girlfriend. I said, like, I wonder where, you know what I'm saying? I wonder where people be going and be doing when they talk about this, selling their soul type shit. You know what I'm saying? Selling your soul, make some money, you know, get in that life. And then I fucked around and found out. Around and found out, because baby, when I tell you that the man that I thought that I had wrote about had came to my life, the pastor, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really given pastor, it was given first lady, but instead of them wanting to be a pastor, they wanted to be a president, right? And so I was like, that's kind of like the same thing. It gotta be the person that I wrote about when I wanted to manifest my husband. It gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Pastor, president, first lady, you know what I'm saying? It was giving that, it was absolutely giving like the status, you know what I'm saying? That even at the time that I wrote it as a 20-year-old wanted, you know what I'm saying? Like that importance, like of being a partner with someone, you know what I'm saying? Like it needs to make sense because for me, I really needed a relationship to make sense, because I had seen so many different types of relationships growing up. And I've talked about these in past videos too, where I'm talking about like crazy ass shit. And I'm just like, I just need for me and whoever I'm gonna be with to make sense, right? Like it just has to make sense, because I didn't sit here and I didn't witness all of the foolishness, right, around me. And I don't want that, you know what I'm saying? Don't want none of that shit. And then around and out, definitely fucked around and found out. But listen, you really gotta take your time and vet people, because you know, like as a hopeful, as a faithful person, you just be like, oh, it could never be me going through some of the stuff that you may have seen another woman go through, or another couple go through, or another man go through. You'll always be like, oh, it can never be me, right? Until you fuck around and find out, right? Like you always think you are the exception to the rule, right? And what I want to say, like, if there's somebody that's young And there's somebody, you know what I'm saying, in their early 20s, you know what I'm saying? Like, baby, slow down. There's no rush. There's no rush. Discover God before you try to discover anybody else. Discover God before you try to discover anything else. Try to discover yourself before you try to discover anything else. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen, try to discover yourself, try to discover God, try to discover the relationship with God. People don't just sit here and talk about God for no reason. Like, you really have to go on a discovery process internally, mentally, emotionally, within the word, in order to find who God is. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you know, life, it drugged me. It did. And I just want to thank God for bringing me all of those lessons that life took me through so that I could be a help to other people. Because I remember when God, like, not only did God tell me that, or I felt like my husband was going to be like a pastor, or I was going to be on some first lady type energy, but I also felt like when I was asking for my purpose, God said I would be a teacher. And at the time when he told me that I would be a teacher, it was like confirmation, and it felt so good to just be like, okay, this is going to be my purpose. But then I was like, God, what am I going to teach? Like, God, what am I going to teach? What am I going to teach your people? What am I going to teach the world? And I was just kind of like set on the idea that, you know, the situation between, or the situation of me having a child at such a young age was going to be like a major impact to like my story, and like what it, like I felt like that had a lot to do with my purpose. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? But I was just like it just wasn't clicking for me in that moment when I actually got the revelation that, oh, you're gonna be a teacher. And so when I initially went to college, I was gonna be a teacher, and I thought about it, and I was like, okay, love the hours, good pay, but then I started thinking about the kids, and I was like, the kids is bad. And I'm like, damn, if I felt that way about little kids, like, imagine being a motherfucking teacher to grown ass fucking individuals who have the fucking freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to do, whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it. Like, if you was running away from the kids to be a teacher, but God, he'll put you where you need to be. And so I'm taking my seat. I'm surrendering it all, them all, to the Most High. So I had wrote about my man and my motherfucking plan, and I got the man wrong again, y'all. I got the man wrong again, y'all. So I ended up marrying this person who told me they wanted to be or not a pastor, but a president. I was like, okay, first lady vibes. Hey, I found him. And then I started going through life with him, and it was supposed to be a God-centered life, and at some points and times it was, and then at some points and times it really wasn't, and then we couldn't really find a flow or a rhythm to where it was like, okay, God, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, God, he told me so many times not to do it. He did. I'm not gonna lie. God was like, don't do it. Red flag, go, run, bitch. Why you got a chance? Go. Don't look back. Go. But did I listen? Did I listen? Do we listen when God gives us the no? Nope, because we think, oh, I figured it out along the way. We can make it work, you know? The red flags don't mean anything to me. I can change them. I could work on this. You've given me the love. Because God, you have given me an infinite amount of love, and I know I can love this person into what I think they should be, right? Or I know I could show up for this person so that they can show up for themselves. Or, you know, you start thinking of all these ways to put the weight on you, when the weight ain't never supposed to be yours. It's supposed to be between each individual and God, right? Each individual and God is doing what they need to do to make sure that the weight is not too heavy. As we journeying through life, we want to feel light, we want to feel free, we want to feel happy, we want to feel joy, we want to feel love. So God is working with each individual person to make sure, you know what I'm saying, it's not too much. So I didn't listen. I had plenty of opportunities to just be like, nah, I'm not finna fuck with this. This is way, you know what I'm saying? And go somewhere else. But then you gotta be honest with yourself. It's like, okay, yeah, there's love that you're doing it for, and then there's also, like, in that moment, I could remember moving in a sense of fear because I just pretty much, I was in the dark, baby. Like, I'm in the dark, and then I see something that looks like it could potentially be light for me, right? I said, this situation could potentially be light for me, so I'm gonna try it out. But at the same time, I had all of them fucking red flags. It was just way too many. Now, young me, we wasn't even using no terms with no motherfucking red flags back then. Back then, it was act like a lady, think like a man type shit, right? Back then, that's what I remember reading too around that time in that period. But listen, if the red flags is so prevalent, you're not going to be able to change them. Those red flags are going to be, if you keep on, they're not going to be red flags. They're going to be scars, red scars, right? You're gonna start scarring yourself because of those red flags, and then you're gonna have to go through a healing journey. And then, of course, who you gonna call on your healing journey? The Most High, right? After the Most High, then I already gave you all them red flags so that your ass ain't even gotta even get cut, get scraped, right? Don't self-inflict unnecessary pain, unnecessary relationships, unnecessary drama, don't be out here putting yourself into situations that, you know what I'm saying, are just unnecessary, right? You know, not to say that, you know, live your life for sure, but when a person wants to commit to you, when a person wants you and them to make commitments where you guys are going to be sharing time and energy and financial resources and you guys' bodies together for intimate reasons, be it, you know what I'm saying, maybe you guys are wanting to share each other's bodies for work or whatever the case may be. When you decide to commit to someone, whether it's through marriage or whether it's just through a verbal confirmation or agreement, just make sure that you're committing thoroughly to things that are obviously white flags. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's probably like, girl, ain't nobody out here giving white flags. I mean, if you in white flag energy, they will. But listen, even if there's not a lot of people out here giving white flag energy, where it's like, oh, it's a go, right? Don't accept the red flags. You know what I'm saying? Just keep working on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Working on your lenses or whatever, how you see people, how you see the world. And then you'll start to see them, you know, different. Your eyes will start to perceive people differently. So when you see the red flags, okay, you know, go the other way. When you see the white flags, you know, okay, this is safe. But until you you have to be able to develop both the eye and the vision for both the red and the white, right? And in order to like fast track past any unnecessary drama, avoid the red, stop at the red. That's why the red light is fucking red. It's for you to stop. Now, if you see some green lights, you know what I'm saying? Proceed slowly. Don't go faster than the motherfucking speed that you need to go. Like, don't do that. Just go slow. Watch for the signs and the signals. Watch for all of them. Don't sweep nothing under the rug. Don't let the dust build up and see what it creates. A lot of videos about these red flags on the internet. Go learn what the red flags is. Go learn what the white flags is. So when you out here and you dealing with people and you're thinking about committing, whether it be for work, friendship, pleasure, commitment, like, just make sure that you pay attention to the flags, right? Because I had a lot of red flags. I didn't pay attention to them, right? So then, bam, you end up in some, you know what I'm saying, some situations you may think, oh, I can get over through this in 6 months, a year, 2 years, and before you know it, a whole motherfucking decade and pass. So make sure to value your time and your presence. Like, it's okay to give sparingly, but get to those who you know embody those green flag characteristics. Don't be out here just giving to red flags. I know it's we want to feel sorry for people, right? We want to have empathy, but at the same time, we have to keep self in mind. Keep yourself in mind. Keep God in mind, and then everything is going to work out for you and you'll be fine. That was pretty much somewhat of my story on how I ended up in a relationship for a very long time with the wrong person. God is going to give you according to the desires of your heart. The desire that's within your heart is huge, right? It's a huge desire. Your job is to become sufficient at knowing that God will deliver in a way where what he gives you feels joyful, feels exciting, makes you feel happy, makes you feel like there's an undeniable energy of emotion and spirit that will be in you. Once you know that it's truly from God, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is truly from God. But then there's also some things in this world who knows the desires of your heart. Like, if you share your dreams and your goals with people, right, then they know the desires of your heart. So that allows for other energies to be deceptive, right? As you are journeying through life, that allows for other energies to be deceptive and be like, okay, this is what she wants, so we're going to send her the false version of what she thinks she wants in order for her to get thrown off her path. Because there's energies in the world that don't want God's glory to manifest, right? God's glory is for us all, but because God's glory is for us all, obviously, if God got haters, right? Who am I to be like, why do they hate on me, God? You know, like, why do they do this to me? What did I do? Like, if God sent his only begotten son and, you know, he was betrayed, and there's the all, right? There's the good and there's the bad. There's the righteous, there's the evil, right? And then we all, like, we want to come together and work as one, right? We want to, but then there's this repulsion, right? There's a repulsion that goes on, and who knows what it's from, you know? So it's like, if God gives you something that is good, it's gonna feel good, right? But because feeling good, you know, just leads to more of God's glory, you know, there's an energy that as well doesn't want that, you know, because that energy likes the darker evil side of things, right? I'm not here to judge what you should like, where you should go, who you should choose. I'm not here to judge, but at the same time, I am here to say that it's a choice, right? You choose which path you want to walk on. And when the red flags are prevalent and prominent in anything that's going on, or if it's just too difficult, or if it just doesn't bring you the happiness or the excitement or the joy that you thought it would, it could have been sent by more of a side of destruction than a side of, reconstruction, restoring, right? So just pay attention to the flags. Don't ignore the flags. And when I'm saying don't ignore the flags, baby, I'm talking to myself right here in this current moment. Absolutely. So yeah, the red flags, pay attention. The choice is yours. The invitation is daily. The invitation is infinite. You don't have to wait for a certain day. You don't have to wait for a certain day. It just don't matter. Like, whenever you decide to accept, when you decide to accept to be one or the other, you just decide, right? You're either gonna walk with God or you're gonna walk without God. You're either gonna walk in your highest self or you're gonna walk in your lower nature of self. Every day you have the opportunity to decide. And like I said, I've done a lot of walking in my life. I've done a lot of walking, right? And I know that sometimes you walk and you want to try something new. You know what I'm saying? You want to try a little something new, whatever you want to call it. But just pay attention to the flags and how you feel when you on these walks and these journeys, and like, just see if it feels better to walk with God or if it feels better to walk in the nighttime with the night walkers doing the nighttime stuff. You know what I'm saying? You have to decide, right? How you want to walk, where you want to walk, who walking with you. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.